Hello and welcome. Now in this course, what we are going to be doing is we're going to be discussing all of the ways that you can use private label rights, or PLR, to make your online business more profitable. Now, private label rights, and other people call it PLR, it gives you leverage to create more content, more products, and authority with whatever time constraints you are working with. And the need to be prolific with promotional content requires that marketers have new and accurate content on a regular basis. In other words, in order to really get your message out, you can't rely on one message. You can't rely on one social media post. You can't rely on one blog post. It really requires that you are consistent with content, consistent with products, consistent with information that's going to be helpful to people. Now, PLR is available for that, and it's available to those folks who do not have time to research and create this content on a regular basis. So if you had to come up with all of the new ideas, you had to come up with all of the different ways and examples that these new ideas can be applied, you'd probably run short of time, and that's where PLR is at its best in helping you to be able to accomplish that. Now, PLR content is licensed to the buyer to use in their business as if it were their own. So in other words, you are getting in PLR the right or the ability to take what you're given and to either rewrite it or repurpose it or reuse it and use it as if you were the person who came up with the idea. Now, the buyer doesn't have to pay royalties or credit the seller once it's purchased. So in other words, you go out and you purchase this PLR. You don't have to credit the person who wrote it. You don't have to credit the organization you buy it from. It's literally yours to use as you see fit and to credit yourself as if you wrote it. Now, typically, it's sold from one person or one organization to many people. So the PLR content product can routinely be sold to as many as 200 to 300 people at the same time. Now, how is PLR defined? Well, one of the ways that PLR is defined routinely in the marketplace is private label rights. Now, private label rights gives the buyer the right to use it as if they created them themselves. You can also buy what's called resale rights. Now, resale rights gives the buyer the right to resell it, but sometimes without the right to change it in any way. So in other words, you don't necessarily have the latitude to edit it or make it your own. Master resale rights gives the buyer the right to resell the product. So in other words, you buy the product from the PLR creator and then you can sell it to someone who then has the right to sell it again. So it actually is a way of creating more value in the product. Sometimes you can define PLR as personal use rights. So you're really getting the right to learn from or benefit from the product directly. And in some cases, some vendors will give you unrestricted rights. Now, this gives the buyer the right to use it or change it or resell it in any way. So why is PLR such a great value? Well, one of the things, as we talked about, when you've got to create and you've got to come up with all of the different ideas, PLR can really save you research time. It can also save you preparation time. So in other words, you don't have to go through the process of getting all of the blog posts or doing all of the videos. You actually know the information, but then you don't have to prepare the content. PLR can provide the buyer with a way of instantly creating additional value. So you can add PLR to an existing information product you already have, giving the buyer something else, and then instantly creating more value. And actually, in some cases, you can even charge more as a result of adding the PLR. PLR can give the buyer expertise on previously unknown topics. And this is one of the best ways to use PLR. If you want to become an expert on a particular social media topic, you could buy the PLR, learn what's in it, and then use it in order to create content or information products. So let's talk about the ways in which you actually handle PLR once you buy it. So one of the first things you should do is really read and understand the rights certificate. Typically, any resale rights product, PLR product, they're going to give you all of the ways that you are legally able to use that product. And you want to read that rights certificate carefully. You want to make sure that you are within the bounds of the rules created by the seller. Second thing you're going to do is you want to take note of the components you have. So did you get videos? Did you get a cheat sheet? Did you get other content? How are you able to use this content? So you want to make sure you understand each and every component that you have and how you were able to use it. Third, now, what you want to do is archive those components. So you want to make sure that they are put away or filed away in a way that you are going to be able to access it when you want it and when you need it. And so that when you can search for it, you'll be able to find it based on your own personal filing system. And that's actually fourth. You want to label that component archive so that you can easily search it. You want to make sure that anytime you want to find a video on a certain subject, that you're able to easily find that based on your filing system and your archiving system. And of course, in conclusion, having this PLR available in a system that makes sense to you increases the likelihood that you'll be able to find it and use it. Now, that's how you are going to get started with using PLR. Now, in the rest of this course, I'm going to be talking about how you can take that PLR or any rights product and maximize it to your benefit, regardless of what you want to do in your online business. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to be discussing you using your PLR pretty much as it is. And you're going to be using it without putting a lot of work into it. And you're going to turn it into your own product almost as soon as you get it. And this is really and truly one of the best ways to leverage PLR by using it immediately, as soon as you purchase it, as a product that you're going to brand with your name. What you're leveraging is your time. You're not going to put the time and effort necessarily into creating your own product. You're going to buy this product. You're going to put it in front of people who you know are going to have an interest in the subject matter of what the product is showing them how to do. And of course, to do this, you're going to want to have an existing email marketing list. You need to have some subscribers already. And if possible, what you're going to want to have done is you're going to want to have gone through the pre-sale process. You're going to want to have days ahead of time told your email marketing list that a product is coming. A product is coming about a certain subject matter, and you're going to start to describe how this product is going to meet their needs and solve some of the problems that maybe they're having, or even help them to accomplish some of the goals that you already know they have. And you can really most effectively do this if you already know when that product is going to be launched. So obviously, you're going to want to have looked at the product launch calendar on places like Muncheye and JV Notify so that you can purchase it when it comes out. And then you can literally get in front of the people that you're going to be mailing to. Now, obviously, you're going to want to make sure it connects your customers to a real problem that they're having or one that they want to solve. And when you do that, what you're doing is you're going to be tailoring the PLR product to meet a particular need, or angling it or slanting it so that it's talking about something that they really do have an interest in. And to do that, you're going to want to make sure that you're adding very unique components so that even if the base product all by itself is going to be the same as others are selling, your offer is still going to be unique because you're still adding those unique aspects, unique components, and you are pushing it toward a particular problem that you know they're having. Now, there are several ways to take a PLR product and make it your own unique offer. So we're going to talk about those now. Now, one of the things you can do is add interviews. So you can go out and find experts who can talk about the subject matter or talk about different problem areas of the subject matter. Again, tailoring it to the needs of your audience or your email marketing list. You can also go out and find case studies. And this is slightly different because what you're going to do is you're going to find those case studies that fit the problem areas, and you're going to find the actual solution. So rather than get someone who's going to teach the people on some kind of audio, you're going to find the problem and the solution all in one area, maybe a document, maybe an article, and you're going to give it to your customers in a way so that they know other people have already solved the problem that they're trying to solve, and it's documented how they solve it. You can also add some unique bonuses. Now, you can bring some pieces of content to the mix. You can bring other pieces of other PLR, or you can bring other resale rights content. You're going to add those unique components that you can bring and add to the project so that your customer is really getting something that they can't get from any place else. The key to this is really creating a unique selling proposition with your product. You're going to be creating something that your customers can only get from you. You can also add new components. So maybe in most PLR products, they're going to get perhaps a checklist, or they're going to get some kind of mind map, but you're going to go one step farther. You're going to add in components that are not part of other PLR products. Again, as close as you can get them to something that your customer would be interested in so that it would help them to solve their particular problem. Now, what you're trying to do ultimately is to make sure that the buyer sees the value in your product. So in other words, they need to look at everything that you are putting into your package. And when they look at it all total, that they look at it as something that they want, that it's worth it for them to spend the actual money. So now, even if they could get it elsewhere, you want them to find and see your particular offer as more valuable for the money they're going to spend, and then they will then be willing to spend that money with you. Now, to make audios and videos unique, you can add in intros. In other words, you can get different pieces of audio and video. You can record it yourself, or you can go out and purchase it, or you can have it done on places like Fiverr or Scriptlance. You can have voiceovers done, and you can add these unique pieces onto your PLR videos and audios, again, to make it something that your customer is not getting from elsewhere. You can add in different transitions. So there are lots of different ways that you can be creative with multimedia, in particular audio and video, by adding those pieces, again, to give your customer a unique experience. Now, to make text unique, you can rewrite it and or reorganize the text. So you want to put it in order of the way that the customer is looking at the problem. So maybe in your slant or in your particular market or niche, the steps that need to be taken are different. You want to reorganize the content so that it fits your particular market, it fits your particular niche. Again, you have text, you definitely want to think about rewriting it, because you don't want people to look at the same text as other people are getting. You want to take a unique approach, personalize it if possible. Now, to make documents unique, what you can do is you can add in your logos, you can actually rebrand it, and you can take them as Microsoft Word documents or as word processing documents, and then you can resave them as PDFs, but you can actually do that once you've added in things like logos, or you've added in different aspects of your particular brand. Now, the same is true when you get things like checklists and mind maps. They're typically going to come in the form of Microsoft Word or PowerPoint documents. And when that's the case, you definitely don't want to be afraid to change some of the wording or some of the order of things to reflect the things that you've actually said before to the people in your community or in your tribe or in your email marketing list. Ultimately, it's not your job just to sell a product. It's your job to create so much value for your customers that buying your product or buying your offer is going to be a no-brainer to them. So you can definitely leverage your time by getting PLR and almost using it as is. But the more value you add, the more that you change some of the components, the more that you add in different aspects, you create more value and you make your customer more willing to buy. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to be discussing using PLR as a bonus to promote affiliate products. Now, one way you can leverage PLR is to give your prospective buyers an added incentive to purchase a product through your own affiliate link. Now, when you're using PLR in this way, what you're going to do is to consider what components you want to use to give them that incentive or to use it as a bonus. Now, what's important to understand is that you want to use PLR with an e-cover. So in other words, if you're going to pick PLR and you're going to use it as your bonus, you want to make sure that it has a 3D image for your buyer to see, because it's easy for your buyer to visualize the value they're getting from that bonus. when there's a 3D image. They really feel like it's almost tangible when they make the decision, yes, I want this additional bonus, yes, I want the product, and yes, I'm really getting something of value. Now here's what that means. Now if you don't have one for the component or product you want to use as a bonus, you want to make sure you create one. If you use Photoshop or some other sales graphics creation software, you definitely want to have one. You have to have that for the bonus really to matter to your customer when they see it. Now here's another consideration. You and I have to make sure that our bonuses are tied closely to the product we're promoting. We have to make sure that the customer sees, again, this relationship between what they're getting and what they're about to buy. In fact, there are going to be some customers, they're going to make their purchase of that affiliate product solely on the basis of the value that you're providing in that bonus. As a result, your buyer has to be interested in the underlying subject matter of the product. You don't want your bonus and the product to be two different things going in two different directions, because that means they're not really interested so much in the product. You want them to keep the product. Now, a relevant bonus helps you in that respect because at least you know they're interested in the bonus. It's in the same general direction as the product. Now, since this is a bonus and not the actual product, it's ethical to have the buyer opt in to get the content. The reason that's important to say is because it's not necessarily ethical to have your customer opt in for the content they paid for. However, when you are giving a bonus, particularly a bonus that they are getting as an affiliate or something that they're going to get as a result of purchasing through your affiliate link, they're going to get their product right away from the product seller or the vendor. You, on the other hand, are going to give them the opportunity to opt in and to become part of an email marketing list so that you'll know how they bought. And if you haven't captured them onto a particular email marketing list, you'll be able to capture them at that point. Now, this is going to be especially helpful if the buyers are coming from another area. So maybe you're getting them from social media. Maybe you're getting them from some kind of paid traffic. And what it's going to do is it's ultimately going to help you to build your list as you make additional sales. So this process of making sure that you have a bonus, of doing it in a way that is tied to that underlying product, and then having the customer opt in to get it is an important part, not only to make additional sales, but also to build your email marketing list. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to be discussing using your PLR to create a membership site. Now one of the ways that you can leverage PLR is by using it to create a stream of income that's recurring, or in other words, your buyers are going to be paying you on a monthly basis for access to the content you're providing. Now that means that you're creating what's typically called a membership site. Now, there are two primary uses for PLR in your membership. The first, you're going to want to make sure that when your customers walk in the doors or when they first land on your membership site, they see everything they need to succeed. Now, on the one hand, that means that everything you promised them, everything you said in your sales letter, all of that's going to be inside of the membership when they first log in. On the other hand, it means that you're going to have any reference content or tools that'll help them get the most out of that content. And of course, that means that you can purchase that reference content as PLR and have it in your membership when your users get there. So they won't have to worry about knowing HTML, or they won't have to worry about learning WordPress, or they won't have to worry about the technical things that could hold them back from implementing your solution. You have already given that to them through the provision of PLR. Now, the second use for PLR in your membership is to provide unannounced bonuses to your members. And this is a very good way for you to give your customer that added benefit of being in a membership with you. Now, unannounced bonuses allow you to reward your members. It makes it painful for them to cancel. Of course, the most important use for PLR is to provide membership content. Or in other words, you want to make sure you're doing what you promised in your sales letter. That's always going to be first and foremost. But one of the things that you can do is to always make sure you are supplementing that, giving your buyer more than they ask for, over-delivering every single month. Now, if you're an expert in the topic area and you don't have time to create all the content that you promised them, Well, you can use PLR to provide some of that content or to give you that added boost or to give you something else cutting edge that you can build on to give them that content that you promised them. If you are not an expert in the topic area, you can certainly use PLR to help you with what would be hard for you to create. It would be hard for you, again, to do the research. It would be hard for you to go and learn something when you've got to produce month after month and you've got your other responsibilities in terms of running your business. You will be able to use PLR and leverage it to give your buyers that content. Now, memberships content can be a regular video, it can be an email, or it can be an ebook. It can be any form of content that you put in your sales letter or that will satisfy the need or solve the problem that your members join your membership to solve. Now, you'll want to use the graphics to add some professionalism to the look of your membership area, as well as what you give to the customer in your membership. And of course, all of those are things that you can get through private label rights or resale rights. Now, as we close out this video, one of the things you want to keep in mind is that the average membership site's tenure is going to be 3.5 months. That means that after 3.5 months, people generally start to feel as if they've gotten everything they're going to get out of a membership. Now, that means that you should be providing some kind of extra bump to them on a regular basis. And you can and should use PLR to upgrade your membership. Now, this is different from the unannounced bonus. This is really giving your customer more than they paid for, additional sessions, additional things that they can use, something that they can use in the topic area that you promised them. Again, you should always be bumping up the value so that your buyer sees more and more value from you, and again, making it painful for them to unsubscribe from your membership. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to be discussing using your PLR as a second or third upsell in your marketing funnel. Now there are going to be times when you're going to run out of content or any acceptable offer to add to your product launch. And just as a point of reference, most marketers add at least one upsell to their product. However, as you know, there are several parts to the standard theory of upsells in information products. While there are no hard and fast rules on how to create upsells in your business, most successful information products follow a pretty predictable pattern. After a buyer has purchased a front-end product, they'll typically be shown an upsell product. While the front end is typically a base model or basic model, the upsell is typically the upgraded, fully featured Pro version. Most marketers will already have this in place when they're putting their marketing funnel together for their product. Now, it's after that point that marketers and or entrepreneurs tend to have gaps in their offering or in their funnel. Now, the second upsell should typically be some kind of DFY or done-for-you implementation of the product. And this means that you have basically in this upsell made it easier and convenient for your buyer to get the results that you promised. Savvy marketers can or will use PLR as either the entire DFY solution or as a major part of it. Now, in some cases, there's even a third upsell, which is typically designed to help the customer maintain their results. Now, this means that the buyer is going to need some kind of resource on a regular basis. And that's going to require them, of course, to pay on a regular basis. Now, the content or membership can be as simple as you uploading content into a Facebook group or into a membership site. Alternatively, it can be as simple as delivering a link once monthly via an autoresponder. Regardless of the how, the third upsell can be content that you purchase and provide to your buyers via the membership process. Now, if you're going to have buyers pay you on a regular basis, you'll want to deliver new premium content on a regular basis. And you can use PLR to serve as that content for you. Now, for all intents and purposes, what you're offering in the third upsell is going to be a membership of some kind. And so that requires you to be able to source content, make sure it's of high quality, and to deliver it to your buyer. And in order to leverage your time, and often even to provide the highest quality to your customer, you want to consider buying high quality PLR or resale rights content. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.